Hi everyone and welcome back to Breakup Cheater. Today's story is one that might make you reconsider ignoring that nagging feeling in your gut. It all began with an unexpected knock on our bedroom door. Sharp, quick, almost like someone was afraid of being caught. When I opened it, the hallway was empty. But right there, leaning against the doorframe, was an envelope with my name scrawled across it in hurried, messy handwriting. Inside, a single note read, "She's not where she told you she'd be tonight." No signature, no explanation, just those words. Downstairs, I could hear Emily's laughter, carefree and loud, as she spoke into her phone. She didn't even glance my way when she passed the front door, dressed in something she hadn't worn in years, clutching an old tote bag. I asked where she was headed, trying to keep my voice steady even though my heart was racing. She brushed it off as a quick get-together and told me not to be paranoid. Then she was gone. Standing there in the empty hallway with that ominous note in my hand, I wondered, was this some cruel joke or the start of something far worse? I decided to stay calm. No texts, no calls, just silence. If Emily wanted to have the night without me, fine. But I'd watch how far this went. By 9 p.m., no message. Midnight came and went. The street outside was eerily quiet, except for one car that slowed down just long enough for me to catch a glimpse of Emily in the passenger seat. Her head thrown back in laughter, and a man's hand resting on her thigh. I didn't run out. Didn't shout. I simply closed the curtains and sat in the dark, staring at that note again. Whoever had left it knew something I didn't. Morning brought no sleep, just silence and shadows in the empty house. Emily was still asleep when I got up, hair tangled, faint traces of last night's makeup smudged on her cheeks. Her tote bag lay abandoned on the floor. I resisted waking her with some dramatic confrontation. People only get better at lying when caught half asleep. Instead, I reached for the tote bag, unsure what I expected to find. A receipt from a bar. Nothing. The first thing I pulled out was a crumpled napkin with a phone number and the words, "Call me when you're free," followed by a winking face drawn in blue ink. Not Emily's handwriting. My chest tightened, but I kept digging. Next was a small silver key on a chain. No idea what it opened. Then, at the bottom, a folded Polaroid photo. Blurry but unmistakably Emily, in the same dress from last night, laughing with a man I didn't recognize. They were far too close. His hand gripping her waist in a way no coworker should. I carefully returned everything, trying to keep my hands from shaking. I didn't want her to know I'd found it. Not yet. I needed to figure out who left the note before making any moves. Emily finally woke around 9 a.m., stretching and smiling like she'd had the best night ever. She asked if I wanted coffee, as if nothing was wrong. I said yes, my voice tight. While she busied herself in the kitchen, I slipped the envelope into my pocket and went outside. My plan was simple. Look for security cameras or neighbors who might have seen something. That's when I saw it. Another envelope, wedged beneath my windshield wiper. My heart sank before I even opened it. Inside was a crystal-clear photo, Emily kissing the same man under a flickering neon sign I'd never seen before. They were lost in the moment, unaware of the world around them. The sign glowed pink and green, spelling out the Lantern Room. In a small city where everyone knows every bar and cafe, this place was a mystery to me. I could have stormed back inside, waving the photo and demanding answers. But every instinct warned me to wait. If I confronted her now, she'd spin some story and shut me down as a paranoid fool. I needed undeniable proof. So I lied. Told Emily I had errands to run. She barely looked up from her phone, indifferent. I drove toward the Lantern Room, the streets growing quieter the closer I got. The cracked parking lot and flickering neon sign gave off a sketchy vibe, not the sort of place for friendly get-togethers. As I stood there, a man in a faded security jacket appeared, cigarette dangling from his mouth. His eyes locked on me, sharp and unblinking. Without a word, I showed him the photo. His face twitched with recognition. "Yeah," he said, exhaling smoke. "They were here last night. Didn't expect you to be the one asking." He handed me a folded matchbook with Lantern Room printed on the front. Inside, scribbled in the same messy handwriting as the first note, were 3 words. Check her messages. Whoever was helping me wasn't done yet. My stomach churned at the thought of reading Emily's texts, proof of betrayal hidden in her private conversations. Back home, Emily lounged on the couch, phone in hand, acting like nothing had changed. When her phone buzzed and she said she was taking a shower before running errands, I seized my chance. The moment water ran upstairs, I grabbed her phone off the coffee table, hands shaking. Her passcode was easy, she never thought I'd snoop. Inside, I found a message thread with someone saved only as M. Flirty texts from the night before. You look incredible. Don't make me wait. Scrolling back revealed plans. Secret trips, quiet meetings at places I didn't know. One message hit me like a punch. When he finds out, it'll be too late. Photos showed Emily and M in shadowy rooms and dimly lit bars. His face was always partly hidden, except one clear as day. It was Mark, my childhood best friend. The man who'd stood beside me as my best man. And now, the man whose hands were all over my wife. I put the phone down, heartbreaking but mind racing. Someone wanted me to know. To confront this. That night, Emily told me she had a late meeting. I told her to have fun and not worry about me. But inside, I was already planning my stakeout. I left before she did, parking across from the lantern room. At 8:42 p.m., her car pulled up. She stepped out in a dress I'd never seen, hair perfectly curled, tote bag in hand. Mark appeared from the shadows, dressed sharply. They walked inside, close and familiar. For the next hour I watched through the window. They whispered, laughed, touched. At 10 p.m. they left, not to their cars but down a dark alley. Followed, heart pounding. They stopped at a side door. Emily's key unlocked it. Inside was an apartment I'd never known about, where secrets thrived. Before I could process it, the security guard appeared again, handing me another note. Tonight is not random. The message echoed in my mind. This wasn't just cheating. It was something bigger. Later, they met a woman who handed over a black leather folder. Emily nodded, slipped it into her bag. The woman's knowing smile as she saw me watching sent chills down my spine. Back home, Emily was calm, acting normal. But on my pillow was another envelope. Inside, a USB drive labeled, "Play when ready to see everything." I waited until I was alone at a diner to plug it in. Videos showed secret meetings, exchanges of documents, whispers of finalize, signature, and plans that would change everything. This wasn't just an affair. It was a calculated scheme. When I returned home, Emily was asleep. I stared at her, wondering how much of our life was a lie. The tote bag was gone, and so was she. On the kitchen table, a note in her handwriting. Don't call me. It's better this way. I didn't chase her. Instead, I called a trusted friend in law enforcement. Within an hour, I was sitting down to piece together the truth. After calling my friend in law enforcement, I handed over the USB drive. He promised to help me uncover what was really going on, and to keep it all quiet until we had solid evidence. Days passed in a haze. Emily didn't return any calls. No messages. The house was silent, but the weight of what I'd discovered filled every corner. Then, one afternoon, my friend called me back. "We ran the files through our channels," he said, voice low. "Emily and Mark are involved in a serious fraud scheme. They're laundering money through fake contracts, and that black folder. It's the paperwork that could bring it all down." Felt sick. All those nights of laughter, the secrets, they weren't just about betrayal. They were about stealing from people I cared about, including me. My friend warned me to be careful. These people don't just cheat, they destroy lives. That evening, I sat on the couch staring at the empty spot where Emily used to sit. I pulled the tote bag out of the closet. It was empty except for a small flash drive I hadn't noticed before. Plugging it into my laptop revealed more files. Emails, bank statements, even video evidence of meetings with shady characters I didn't recognize. I realized then that Emily's betrayal cut far deeper than I imagined. The next move had to be smart. I started gathering everything: the photos, the messages, the videos, and with my friend's advice, prepared to go to the authorities officially. But before I could act, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Stop digging, or you'll regret it." The fear was real now. This wasn't just about a broken marriage. It was about survival. I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't back down. Because sometimes the truth isn't just painful, it's dangerous. Thanks for watching this intense chapter of my story. If you're as shocked as I am by how deep this betrayal goes, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Breakup Cheater, because this isn't over. The next part will reveal what happens when the truth finally comes crashing down, and why sometimes trusting the wrong person can cost you everything. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when next video drops. And if you've ever had a gut feeling you ignored, drop a comment below. I want to hear your story. Stay safe out there. And remember, sometimes the hardest battles happen behind closed doors.